don't think I can make this video short and sweet, so here it goes. Why it's important to make sure that we advocate about our own health, our own bodies, and why it's so important to have good doctors and specialists. Okay, so we're going to go back to when I was 23 years old. A long time ago. Anyways, I told my doctor I had back then that I was having problems with my heart. It would beat really fast, I'd get lightheaded, dizzy, and because I was 23, he said there's nothing wrong with me. I was fine. So I went over his head, found me a heart specialist. He had me wear a heart monitor. I think it was for 48 hours, somewhere on there. Anyways, and then I brought it back to them. Come to find out, I actually had to have heart surgery done. Yeah. Went home the same day, lit up a cigarette, but still. If I would have just listened to that my regular doctor, who knows what would have happened. And I had 2 little kids at that time. Well, so April of 2014, we're moving forward. I injured my back at my job. We made natural gas tanks. I had to manually sand tanks where I had to turn them and sand them from top to bottom. And they ranged from 50 pounds to 4,000 pounds. I was doing that for 12 hours. My right shoulder and my back said, fuck you, basically. So my back's compressed, 2 discs in my back are compressed and it's curving inwards. You can actually see it's curving inwards. I have like an indentation. Yeah. Where it looks like I almost have like a hole. Anyways, didn't realize how bad it was. Only got 1,800 for the injuries. Well, I couldn't lift anything over 5 pounds. I'd be in so much pain. So I seen 9 specialists. None of them ran tests. None of them did x-rays. None of them did anything. Nothing at all. Even the same pain specialist, she even put a needle in my spine. And I had to sign a waiver because it can make you leak brain fluid, it can cause infections, and just might cause a lot of stuff. But I figured, fuck it, if it's going to help me with pain, and it didn't. It just made it way worse. Anyways, they all looked at my age and said, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. Go home. Yeah. So by the 10th, I told him, and he's a brain and spine specialist. And I told him I didn't care if he had to call the police, security guards, whoever. We're figuring out today what's wrong with me. So he asked if I had time for CAT scan. Me and my last tech said yes. So he did a CAT scan and he looked at the results. Had me come back there again in the same day and said, how are you walking? And I said, well, with that question, all I can say is by the grace of God. How are you able to go to the bathroom on your own? Like, you're not peeing or losing bowel movements or anything involuntarily? No. And he's like, huh, how? And I said, again, since you're asking that, the only thing I can say is by the grace of God. Well, how bad my back was, and it still is, it's permanently damaged, I shouldn't be able to go to the bathroom on my own. Technically, I should be wearing diapers and not being able to walk. By the grace of God, I'm able to walk and go to the bathroom on my own. I don't have to wear a diaper. We just get home from that appointment. He told me that my two discs are compressed and curving inwards. that surgery won't even help. And he wouldn't want to do surgery even if it would help, because I'd most likely bleed to death on the table. But anyways, when we get home, we just are getting ready to sit down on my couch. My phone rings. It's the brain and spine specialist that I just seen. His office is calling to tell me that I need to come in because they see something growing in my lungs. So they need to do the dye, the CAT scan with the dye. And I never had that done before. So I said, what that's about. And they said it just basically lights everything up so they can get a better picture. So I went back in, and he said 99% sure it's sarcoidosis, 1% sure it's cancer. Sent everything to my regular doctor. He said the same thing. He referred me to a pulmonologist. He said the same thing. And then he set me up for a biopsy. They took 2 pieces of my lungs, each lung, and came back sarcoidosis. We've never heard about sarcoidosis. From the way the doctors were describing it, it was no big deal. But it is a big deal. And they put me on prednisone. In less than 1 month, I gained over 100 pounds. In less than 1 month. They told me this was normal. It is not normal. It's beyond normal. Also being put on prednisone, I couldn't keep food or fluids down for 3 years. My regular doctor and my pulmonologist were excited. Well, you'll lose weight this way. If they actually cared about their patient, me, I went and got Barrett's esophagus. I went to lost teeth. All that acid coming up, as soon as 2 bites of food hit my stomach. Yeah, lost teeth, a lot of teeth. And I have Barrett's esophagus, which can cause cancer in my esophagus. So every 3 years, they have to check that in my stomach. I'm on pantoprazole for the rest of my life. That's supposed to help so I don't grow cancer in my throat. So that's another reason it's important to have good doctors and specialists right behind you with your health issues. We're going to go back because I forgot. Beginning of September of 2015. Went to work, fine, came home. This was my last job. Came home and went to sleep, woke up, my eyes were bloodshot red, my vision's blurry, I can't see anything. Can't tell if anyone is a woman, male, they're just one big blur, okay? Still had to go to work because I'd been fired. My boss was worried about me and told me to go to the ER right after my shift. I was going to go anyways. Went to the ER, they kept me there until, well, they checked my pressure in my eyes and kept me there until I seen the eye specialist. Well, the eye specialist, when I was finally able to see him, did the eye pressure test and other tests and thought I had arthritis in my eyes, so he gave me 2 different types of eye drops. And then I kept going back to him because my vision wasn't getting any better. So then he did a biopsy of my eyes, came back sarcoidosis. And I kept seeing him because my vision was just getting a little bit better, but it was still blurry. And he told me, in front of my ex-fiance, he didn't care if I went blind, he was done seeing me. Another reason it's good to have, yeah, that's another reason that it's good to have good doctors behind you. So now, I ended up getting COVID on my birthday of I think it was 2022. Anyways, so I ended up beating it, thankfully. My kidney function dropped because I was extremely dehydrated, and wasn't even taking my thyroid medication. I have thyroid problems ever since I've been on prednisone, and so I was just focusing on getting better from COVID. It's coughing up blood and everything. That's normal for me when I get a cold. I cough up blood, not a big deal. But I knew it wasn't just a cold. On April 3rd, 2 days after my birthday, I tested positive for COVID. Well, my old doctor wasn't telling me my kidney function dropped. Wasn't telling me nothing. So I went to my patient portal, seeing for myself, got me a different doctor. She doesn't keep anything from me. She found out I have osteoporosis since I was on prednisone. My eye doctor that I see also found out I have cataracts, and that's damaging my eyes faster than the sarcoidosis. And I have a good eye specialist now that knows about sarcoidosis. I have an amazing pulmonologist now, and he knows about sarcoidosis, and he sees me every year. He even does breathing tests and everything. I haven't seen my other lungs. Yeah, my first pulmonologist, besides not caring about I've gained over 100 pounds in less than a month, or me not keeping down anything. After the sarcoidosis went into remission in my lungs, November 2018, he hasn't seen me since. Found out they're still supposed to see you every year. Yeah, every year. Even if it's in remission, just to make sure it doesn't come back. Just to make sure everything's on the up and up. So anyways, I have a good pulmonologist now, and he sees me every year. And no one told me until he became my doctor, my specialist, that my lungs, both lungs, are covered from top to bottom. Yeah. So both my lungs are damaged because of the sarcoidosis. No one told me anything. And if you're a doctor or a specialist, you know, regular doctor or specialist, you should tell your patients anything that you find. Because if they can fix it, how are they going to fix it if it's a secret? And they should know what's going on with their health. Whether they want to hear it or not, they need to. My gastrologist, he's the one that kept doing test after test after test and found out I have fatty liver. And he ended up referring me to a surgeon to get my gallbladder removed in 2019, August of 2019. And he found a hernia, fixed that during the surgery. Then he did a biopsy of my liver, and it came back sarcoidosis. Other doctors would tell me, oh, the white of your eyes, if they turn yellow, that's jaundice. That's not liver. It's liver. Even the liver specialist that I have now even said, my new doctor I have, she referred me to a liver specialist. And they told her they wouldn't see me unless I got sicker. And I looked at her in her eyes and said, I promise you that won't happen. And then my lung specialist that I have now referred me to a liver specialist. And they asked me, so were you on medication for the sarcoidosis in your liver? No. Were you seeing anyone for the sarcoidosis in your liver? No. Were you referred to anyone? I was, but that liver specialist told my doctor I have now that they refused to see me unless I got sicker. What did you say? I promised her that wasn't going to happen. And I've kept my promise so far. And she goes, so what have you been doing to help it to heal on its own without medication? And I said, well, I researched. Your liver is the only organ that heals on its own as long as you catch it in time. So my son, about every other day, maybe sometimes longer, I would have him check my eyes, the white of my eyes. And basically just do that. And he'd use a flashlight. And if they're a little yellow, I would think back, what did I eat? What did I drink? And then I would make a mental note and stay away from that. Also, if I didn't get plenty of sleep, my eyes would be yellow. So I watched my sugar and my sodium intake. And I ate, when my eyes were a little yellow, I ate salmon and spinach to to help my liver to heal. And drink plenty of water, too. See, it's important for us to know our bodies. And when no one's telling us what we can and can't do to better our health, it's our responsibility to research what to do, what not to do, and be our own guinea pigs. That's what I've been. I watch when my kidneys go up and down. What can I do? Drink plenty of water. How much water do I need to drink to get it a certain amount? And that's what I've been doing. I've been texting myself, so I know. Because I have a lot of health issues, so I have to keep track of everything. And so, a lot of times, yeah, Google is not 100%. So just be your own guinea pig. And if you have to, write everything down in a notebook and go from there so you know what to do, what not to do. And make sure, if a doctor ain't listening to you or a specialist ain't listening to you, keep going to one. Don't care how many you have to go to till you find one that listens and knows what's going on with you. You know your body better than any doctor or any specialist. Don't stop until you get the proper treatment. I'm glad I finally have good doctors now. It took from 2016 to 2024. And my spine specialist, he was a pretty good doctor. And he's also a brain specialist. But he can't tell me why I feel sharp electricity pains in my head like muscle spasms. My MRIs turn out good. So I guess for that, we'll probably never know. Much love, you guys. Bye.